It goes without saying that actions and attitudes such as murder, adultery, slander, theft, hatred, greed, deception, cruelty, and an evil heart hurt us and hurt everyone around us. They result in turning people against one another, damaging or destroying friendships and families. They create enemies. Whether or not we use the word sin to describe such things, these are the kinds of things that make life miserable instead of joyful. That's why the Bible does call them sin. An evil heart, Jesus said, is a fountain of evil actions and attitudes. And evil is evil not because it violates a certain rule in a certain list, but simply because it hurts people. God made humanity in His own image, and God's image is not solitary and alone. God is Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, three divine hypostases, or persona, to use the Greek and Latin terms, in perfect loving union and harmonious relationship with one another. Perichoresis is the Greek word for it, meaning mutual indwelling or co-inherance. Being in God's image is like being hardwired for love, for community, for right relationships. It is when we are forced to be alone or when our relationships are sour that we are most miserable. On the other hand, when our relationships are positive and strong, we are the most joyful. We are created for good relationships, and that is exactly what the gospel is all about, restoring us to right relationships with God and with others. The Apostle Paul wrote in Romans 5, verses 8 to 10, "But God demonstrates His own love for us in this: while we were still sinners, Christ died for us. Since we have now been justified by His blood, how much more shall we be saved from God's wrath through Him? For if, when we were God's enemies, we were reconciled to Him through the death of His Son, how much more, having been reconciled, shall we be saved through His life?" Like a thorn, sin by any other name hurts just as much. But the good news is that in Jesus Christ's atoning ministry, God has already forgiven our sinful heart, healed it, and reconciled us to Himself, freeing us for right relationships with Him and other people. We only need to open our healed eyes to see it and open our healed hearts to embrace it and accept it. In Jesus, God has revealed His perfect love for us, and even if we refuse Him forever, His love will never cease. I'm Joseph Tkach, speaking of life.
Jesus asked His disciples, "Who do you say that I am?" We have a free booklet, A Brief Introduction to Trinitarian Theology, to help you answer that question. In the United States, to request your free copy, go to wcg.org/lit or call us toll-free at 1-800-423-4444. That's 1-800-423-4444.